Today's video is very, very special. What I have here in front of you is a bunch of Kylo Rens, and I'm going to kit bash them. Kit bashing is a very popular term here in the collecting community. If you do not know what kit bashing means, it essentially is taking bits and pieces from one figure and putting it on the other. So I'm going to take all of these Kylo Rens, and I think we're going to take these two Black Series ones, and these will be our bases, and we're going to use figure pieces, you know, right there, hoodless and hoodless, but with the helmet still on. And we're gonna put this Rogue One onto here. And we're gonna have pretty much two ultimate Kylo Rens as a result. That is kit bashing, is also known as customizing your figures. And there are several different techniques on how to do this. So let's get started. I'm going to take apart these packagings. So here are all of our Kylo Rens out of the packaging. For some reason, the Black Series does an absolutely terrible job at standing. So I have one stand here for him, and the other Black Series we're gonna use as a base, just laying there because he doesn't want to stand. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because you guys on Twitter, who follow me on Twitter, voted for me to have this video instead of individual reviews of each of these four, well, five. All of them suck, and that's why I'm pretty much making this vid to customize each one of them. So this guy should be fairly easy. This is our Unmasked Kylo Ren, and his hood just comes off straight up. And there are several techniques of how to do a kit bash. One, you can just see if you can pop off the figure head if they are little guys like this, 3 3/4 inch figures, and bam, he comes off very easily. You can see here what he looks like. He is a jointed head like that. This one already pre-popped off the head, so you can see here that the pegs are nearly the same size, and we should be able to pop it on no problem. And there he goes. He's on. He's a very tight fit, and you can see how cool that looks with the soft goods there. And you can throw on his hood in case you want him like that. So there is our first Kylo Ren, and this guy will be thrown off into something, or I could just customize and glue this onto there. It fits, but a little loose, but still that could work. Now pretty much taking these guys and putting them on him. Now I'm gonna show you how I take him off. I might have to do the boil and pop method for him, but let's see if I can just take him off without that. Oh, you can. Okay. So I came off relatively easy. So this Kylo is very easy to come off. He has his drape here, and then his head comes off quite easily, just pops straight off. And I can pretty much just do this, AKA, I can't. Because this guy and this guy have two different peg sizes. You have to be very careful with getting one that does not have the right peg size, because you could be completely screwed. So I'm really taking a risk here by this new Rogue One. I'm hoping that the head does come off, the hood comes off. It looks like he has some kind of wonderful defect right there. Thanks a lot, Hasbro. But boom, should come off. And those look to be the same size. Yay! So we have our, all right, Kylo. And he can have a couple different changes, just like he can have two with the hood or without the hood. He can pretty much have three. He can have like this, or without it, or with the hood. And here's the thing why I really want to do this kit bashing. This one with the Black Series, it does look very good. The hood looks more authentic the way it lays with the helmet compared to this one. It seems like the hood is a little bit more too forward. If you guys can see that, the hood covers too much of the sides than the Black Series one, which is more authentic. So to cut away just a little bit there of the hood. But he has the ability to articulate his head, which is actually really important, considering if you want to recreate, even though it's backwards, I'll go authentically. I'll go this side. Even though he does not really have a wrist hinge, but you can still kind of recreate it with the little dude. And bam, you can kind of have it like that. Rather than this, and no articulation at all. Okay, so technique number 2 is the boil and pop method. You pretty much need to have a stove. I apologize for this disgusting stove and pot, but get a pot And then what you want to do is fill your pot with water. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So there it's filled with water. Pretty much put it on your stove. I'm gonna light it up. There you go. And I'm gonna put it about, I don't know, 4 or 5. What we're pretty much going to be doing is, we need this water to boil. So we're gonna wait a couple minutes. And of course, do not leave your house when you have your stove on or your oven on. But we're gonna wait until this guy boils. All right, so when you see it pretty much start to boil like this, just turn it off. These are all my like personal recommendations. These aren't necessarily what you could use or what other people have used. I know people that keep it boiling, they leave their figures in for like over a minute and they submerge the whole thing and then just use tongs. Pretty much I just take my like fingers of the figure and say if I'm just doing a head swap, if this guy's head didn't come off, pretty much dip it in the water for about 30, 40, 50 seconds or so. I'd say no longer than a minute. And you can do it as short as, say, 20 seconds. If you really didn't want to burn your fingers, you can pretty much use a scooper and just like put them in and then leave them in and then scoop them out. Or tongs like other people have said. And then bring them over to your towel. So your figure's going to be extremely hot. Not so much the plastic itself, but the water. So if you're going the water route, the boil and pop route, honestly, I don't really recommend it. Probably the hairdryer route would probably be the best. So it's going to be really hot, and what you need to do is pretty much just take your towel and wipe it off, or do one of these flicking motions because it's going to bring out all the excess water. And the next step pretty much is to take whatever part you want, say the head, and just pop it off. Obviously this came off really easily because we didn't really need to boil and pop them. But it will soften up the plastic a lot. This is very, very flexible now. And the plastic being, this is a rubbery type deal. So the rubber is going to get a little bit more easier to get off than hard plastic like this guy. But that is technique number 2. Technique number 3 is the hair dryer, which I'll let my good friend Anthony, my customizer, tell you about. Anthony, take it away.
Greetings out there, this is As Evil's Dead Studios. I am Anthony. Here we do customs, repaints, and mods, you name it. But today we're going to do something a little different here. Matthew Brando wants me to show you how to use a hairdryer. Weird. Okay, let's get into this. But first off, one thing to note, do not be using your dad's heat gun. This thing, the plastic it's a death wish. Don't use it. Only use your mother's hairdryer. Here's your examples. Probably gonna take the arm off a figure, maybe a head. This works great if like you have a figure that has a broken arm and the joint is still stuck in there. Pop the joint out with a hairdryer, glue it back on. So let's get into it. Okay, here's our example here. It's gonna try to take the head off. Let's try now. We grab our hairdryer. That's not a hairdryer. Oh. Okay, we're gonna take our hairdryer and start heating it up. Alright, now that she's all warm, the joint is all pliable, just give it a little tug and then there, comes right out. You can see the joint is a bit pliable now. But yeah, that's how you get off arms and limbs. You could potentially take off every limb on this figure and every piece by just hair drying it. To get it back on, just the same old thing, and see now, there you go. Good as new. Well, there you have it. That's how you use a hairdryer on figures to do what you need. Well, there's only one thing to do now.
So yeah, right here are my 2 finished Kylo Rens, and I'm pretty much gonna keep those guys, even though they don't stand very well compared to these. I don't like 5 points of articulation at all. I really wish they had elbows and knees, even though they can't stand that well. He's standing pretty well for now. But I'm gonna pretty much keep these 2 Kylos and just get rid of these 3. And that's how to kitbash, guys. Thanks very much for watching.
End of line.
I'm Brando, and I fight for the users. Thank you for choosing
Kitbash.
Greetings, program! Today's video is how to clean always, it's kind of a special video I've been thinking about doing and sharing my information